Hi everyone, it's Domenica. It's about a week away from Thanksgiving and I am not hosting. I usually don't ever host, but I'm always helping. So I'm going to be showing you two different side dishes that you can make. They are vegetarian friendly. If you made some adjustments, I'm sure they could be vegan friendly as well. I will be doing it in two different videos. So in this video, I will show you how to make a wild rice side dish with mushrooms, onion, and a few other things. So let me show you what I use. So I have my wild rice that I've been soaking overnight. I will be boiling it in some salted water per the package instructions. Just whatever brand you get, or however you normally prepare wild rice, just prepare it plainly. And then I have about a pound of mushrooms. I used both button and cremini, but you can use portabellos, whatever you like, and then just slice them up. I have one sweet onion. In the measuring cup here, I have some cranberries that I'm soaking in hot water. This is to reconstitute them so they're not so dry and chewy. And then I'm also going to be using some parsley, white wine, pomegranate, butter, as well as olive oil. And I go to Trader Joe's a lot, so I'm going to be using their mushroom multi-purpose seasoning blend. Since we are using mushroom, it'll go nicely within the dish, and I'm not going to be using too much. Okay, so I went ahead and sliced my mushrooms as well as diced the onion, and in my pan I have both the butter and the olive oil melting together. It may look like a lot, but it's not that bad. First of all, if you're making it for Thanksgiving, you want to eat some tasty things. Secondly, the onion and the mushroom will absorb it, so I do want to use this much. And it's like a tablespoon and a half of butter and probably a tablespoon of olive oil. It just looks like a lot right now. So to the hot oil, I'm going to add my onion and just going to cook that down a little bit. And I have it on medium heat. If the pan doesn't sizzle when you add your onion, it means that the fat in the pan wasn't hot enough. So, maybe just start by adding a piece of onion before adding everything. And I'll also add just a touch of salt. I'm going to cook this for a couple of minutes before adding the mushroom. Okay, so after a couple of minutes or so of cooking down your onion, go ahead and add the mushroom. Hopefully your pan is big enough. It will cook down a lot. Mushrooms contain a lot of water, so a pound is actually going to look like probably nothing afterwards. If you're making this for a large group of people, it is going to be really easy to double. Just in case you've got like a large party going on. And basically you want to toss everything together so it kind of gets coated with the butter and olive oil. If your pan ends ends up getting a little too dry, I would say go ahead and add like another pat of butter or another drizzle of olive oil. And I'm gonna also add a little bit of salt now. Not a lot, because the mushroom seasoning that I'll be adding has salt in it as well. So I've been cooking the mushrooms down for about a minute or two. It's not done cooking yet. If you see a lot of liquid still coming from the mushroom, you want to keep cooking it until it's browned. I am going to add at this time the mushroom seasoning, and I'm not going to add a lot, but maybe about no more than 1/4 teaspoon. And this is just to enhance the mushroom flavor. It also has some salt in it, so that's why I didn't salt too heavily beforehand. And I'm just going to let this to cook down a little bit more, and towards the end I'm going to be adding the wine for flavor. Not a lot, but I do want to use a little bit. If you don't want to use wine, you can use balsamic vinegar. Just make sure it's the vinegar and not the sweetened balsamic syrup. Okay, so finally, when the mushroom has cooked down so that you don't see any mushroom liquid, that's when I'm going to add my wine. And again, you really don't need a lot. I'm just adding it for an acid to kind of balance out the salty and the sweet that's going to be in the dish. So I would say about a tablespoon to no more than 1/4 cup. And it will also add some flavor. And I'm also going to add some black pepper. And I'll basically stir this and keep an eye on it until the wine has evaporated, essentially. So maybe a couple more minutes. I mean, I do want a little bit of browner color on the mushroom. So if you want your mushrooms to get like a little crusty, or like that true seared brown on it, leave it in a single layer and let it sit for about a minute or so, maybe a little longer. And then after, like when you turn it, it'll get that golden brown color. So this is just about done. I'm going to combine it with the wild rice. So here I've got my cooked wild rice, and it is hot from the pan, as well as the mushrooms. It's also hot. The dish does not have to be served right off the stove. If it stays at room temperature, it should be fine. So if you're making it ahead of time during the day, it should stay no problem. And then right now I'm just going to add the cranberry. I had whole dried cranberry, so I did go ahead and roughly chop it, as well as fresh pomegranate and some chopped parsley. And basically mix it up. And here is the final dish. This did come out really, really nice. Okay, so this did come out really well. I have a slight confession to make. I haven't made this before. When I think of Thanksgiving, I just think of the flavors that I associate with the holiday, what I would like to eat with a turkey, because that's what we usually have. and I take it from there. So I will have a described recipe below on measurements and something that you can follow. But this did turn out really, really good. It doesn't have to be with a turkey. It would also go well with a roasted chicken if you were just, making like a Sunday meal. I just wouldn't serve it with fish. Like any other game, venison, lamb, but maybe not fish. So I hope you enjoyed this. Happy Thanksgiving.